Join me right now, back on the show. Kumite TV is Australian welterweight prospect Jack Della. Jack is about to step into the cage at Dana White's Contender Series. I'm happy for you, Jack. We've been speaking for a long time. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited, but yeah, the body's feeling good, weight's all good, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go right now. So just wait a couple of days and go time.
Yeah, definitely. And you've been in the States for almost 2 weeks now ahead of your fight. Why did you decide to head out there a couple weeks early?
It was just like obviously a long plane trip. We thought we may as well get out there and just get out there rather than having any issues with jet lag or anything like that. Just get out, acclimatize, and why not? Just get straight into the lifestyle and get ready to go. And it turns out we weren't jet lagged for long, so we've just been, training, eating good, and just waiting in the ranks, ready to go.
Perfect. And Perth, was it under some lockdown? I know Australia in certain parts, man, it's been pretty strict.
Yeah, in Perth, we're pretty lucky. Like, we don't have too much crazy lockdowns going on, but on the other side, it's a bit more strict. And Perth and other states have some sort of restrictions, so made it a little bit difficult, but it wasn't too hard getting out. Hopefully just getting back is going to be smooth sailing, hopefully.
For sure. And what is it? Perth for the last year and a half or so, since the pandemic started, it's been okay because Eternal had been having shows out there, so you've been able to fight, at least once
Yeah.
throughout that time. And
Yeah.
and how was the training though? Was it something that, really hindered you? It didn't seem like it has.
Nah, we have been, to be honest, like, Perth has been probably the best city in regards to government control in the pandemic. So, that's my computer. Yeah, so we've been pretty much lucky
Mhm.
with how much control they want to put on us. So we literally, I think we had since in the last year, we've probably had about a week lockdown, maybe 3 days, and the rest has just been business as usual. So I've been pretty lucky where we are.
So in Vegas, are you just isolated yourself, you and your coaches? Are you going anywhere to train, or are you just kind of training where you're at?
We got out, we got out 2 weeks before the fight, so we've been here pretty much a week and a half, week and a couple of days. So that first week we had our own little Airbnb, and we snuck our way into the PI, and we just kept going back. So we had some good training at the PI, but we haven't really gone into Vegas. We literally went to our house, got groceries, went to the gym, pretty much just did that on repeat. So we've been pretty isolated, and now that we're in the UFC fighter hotel, we're pretty much fully isolated. There is a pool, we can go outside, but yeah, there's not much going out and stuff. Quick little grocery store visit, but then back to the pad.
Yeah, how was the PI first? Because everybody I talk to, when they first step in there and start to get to use everything, they're just amazed by the level of technology and how advanced everything is.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. It's like the facilities there are insane. They got everything you need, and we were pretty lucky that most of the time we had the gym to ourselves. There was maybe occasionally a small class going on, and then there was occasionally one athlete there, but we pretty much had the whole thing to ourselves and used all other recovery tools, like the ice bath, the sauna. So we spent a good 3 hours there every day, just getting loose, and just so it was awesome. They the people there, the staff of the PI, go above and beyond it. It's a pretty incredible facilities.
Definitely. And did you get to train with anybody while you're there, or was it just isolated? You're too paranoid. You don't want to
Yeah, no,
risk anything.
we've got a good crew. I've got Ben Vick as the head coach, and then his brother Pat. So we've just been getting our drills in, a lot of pad work, sparring, just getting the body loose. All the hard rounds were done before we got here, so now it's just staying fit and just drilling the right movements and getting ready to fight.
Yeah, you must be pretty eager because I don't think I've ever spoken with you ahead of a fight where you've sat out almost a year. Have you sat out that long before?
No, I've had maybe at one point I had a little bad run of injuries, just some hand stuff. But yeah, it's definitely probably been the longest inactive streak I've had since my first fight. So, in all honesty, it hasn't been that bad. It's actually been quite good. We've got a good crew together. Like, our team has gained some people in this time, and it's been a good year. Like, I can't complain. Definitely, I don't think ring rust is a thing. I think we've been getting the good rounds in and getting better. So I definitely feel like I'm better than I was a year ago. So it's time to show the improvements.
Well, you had a camp earlier this year because you were supposed to fight in February, and then that fight was canceled, your title defense for Eternal. And I felt like, man, that was a good challenge right there. Saeed is a tough dude. When they canceled that and they couldn't find a replacement, was it pretty devastating? Because, I know you like to stay active.
Yeah, it was devastating because it wasn't like early on in the camp. It was pretty much, I think we literally finished the last hard training session. It was camp over. We were excited to get in there, and then it was cancelled pretty much that weekend. So it was pretty devastating, but again, it is what it is. Like, you've just got to bite the bullet, and I guess we got better in the camp. So you just got to look at the positives. But yeah, that would have been an awesome fight. It would have been cool to fight Saeed, but obviously it didn't work out.
Yeah, how did it feel the past couple of years? Eternal trying to bring in guys from other parts of Australia, and I felt like we've talked about this before. Basically trying to beat you, and you're sitting on top of the throne, man. There's some pressure to that, and I'm pretty sure that pressure that you've dealt with before is probably going to be helpful. When you're heading into this Contender Series bout.
Yeah. It was always cool being like the champion of Eternal, like just having. Basically, you don't really get to like choose who you fight. You just say like, I'm the champion now. Like, just give us whoever, and it was cool. I loved it. It made it, I guess, easy. Just like the pressure. I actually enjoy the pressure. Like, it adds a little bit of that extra edge on the fight. But yeah, I think all fights are pretty similar. You got different pressures that weigh differently every time. So I feel like I'm ready to go, and I don't feel any different than this fight to any others. So. Ready to get this.
How long after the Saeed fight was canceled that you found out about this Contender Series?
It was pretty close. As soon as that fight was cancelled, Tim was like sort of bugging the UFC people, and they kept saying like, there's no shows going around in Asia or Australia, which would have been obviously more logistically easy for me to get there. But and then it was maybe within a month or 2 months, and they said Contender Series is happening in around September time, and we want Jack to do that. So it wasn't like no contract was signed, but it was sort of like a yes from them that I'd be on Contender at this time of the year. So we just took that as it was and just sort of had this goal in mind from then. So it's been a long camp, if you will, but we've just been sticking at it, just trying to get better every day.
Yeah, I remember there were like some serious talks about having a show in Singapore, and whenever they have show in Singapore, they always bring out the Aussies and the Kiwis, and they put them on the show. And I was thinking, man, if they do have that show, I was thinking like that would have been perfect for you, because this was before they even talked about having Contender Series.
Yeah, for sure. I think I do remember that, and that was sort of the talks, hoping to do that, but obviously didn't pan out. But hopefully they do start. Hopefully Asia open up. It'd be awesome to come over somewhere in Asia and fight. So hopefully maybe next year it'd be awesome. Scrappy
MMA. I thought you've been fighting for them for like a couple of years now. Is the MMA Clinic, is that like kind of transitioned over there? What happened with that?
The MMA Clinic is old news, John. It's Scrappy MMA now.
Okay.
The transition was made probably 2 years ago.
What? How come I didn't notice? I didn't even notice that transition. I always thought it was MMA Clinic, but I noticed that a lot of the guys from MMA Clinic are at Scrappy MMA. So was it just the whole team?
It's the same place, same facility, just the rebranding of names. So
okay.
Same crew, Scrappy MMA.
Well, your crew is doing damn good, man, because your teammate just won the Eternal belt. Was it yesterday?
Yeah. Jack Becker last night. Yeah, it was 3 a.m. here, and we were up very excited. It was a brutal knockout.
Yeah, and I felt like he went in there as the underdog, because a lot of people were very high on Hill, and man, that first round, like you said, there's no questions.
Fighter,
No
He was an
question.
awesome fighter,
Yeah.
and so yeah, Hill is a great fighter, and everyone was sort of saying how Jack Becker's grappling, and it's sort of striker versus grappling match, and then the grappler came out and landed some big strikes, and game over. So it was exciting for us. You know, we've been working on. Jack's been helping us with the grappling. We've been helping him with the striking. So it was beautiful to watch.
Do you know anything about like Mitch Martin? Like what's happening with him?
I think Mitch Martin. I'm not. Mitch is obviously one of the toughest guys in Australian MMA. I think, and I think he'll fight again. I reckon at some point. At some point, he will get back in there. You know, hopefully. I think the fans. It's a good one for the fans. I think that is what Australian mixed martial arts needs, is a good Mitch Martin fight at the moment. So hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I haven't heard from
Yeah.
Mitch in so long. You know what I mean? I remember he fought. You know, he defended the title, but then after that, it's been a while. So, anyways,
Yeah,
you know, I
yeah.
just
Yeah, he
thought I'd
pops
ask.
in the gym every so often.
Yeah.
Mitch is one of those guys. He doesn't train really that much in between fights, but when he's got a fight in, he gets in the cage and he has a shit couple of weeks, and then he puts on a awesome fight. So hopefully we can drag him back in there.
All right, hopefully. Now, your fight coming up, you know, far from now versus Ange Loosa. You know, what is your breakdown of this fight?
I think Ange is he's like an aggressive striker by the looks of it. He's gonna have, he looks like a powerful, aggressive guy. So he's gonna come at me from the get go, which I think is gonna play good into my. It's gonna be good for me, I guess. Come at me. I'll try and land on the counter and see what happens. I think I'm gonna put the pace on him as well, and I think it's gonna be a good fight for the fans, and I think I'm gonna get my hand raised at the end.
Have you watched every single week so far this season?
I didn't watch the first week, but we watched the second week.
And
Good
Dana
guy,
White,
yeah.
man, he's being very generous. I think in the
Very
second
generous.
week he gave a guy that lost
Yeah,
a contract.
He's super. Last week he was generous, so I reckon this week he might be a bit more tight with the contract. So I'm gonna have to come out there and perform if I want to get that fight deal. You know.
Yeah, that's another way of looking at it, right? Some guys look at it and say, hey, you know, he's being generous this season, so this season he's gonna be giving out contracts to everybody that wins. But then, like you said, he might have gave out too many contracts, and you know he can't sign as many people, right? So
Yeah,
you got to
that's
go
what
out
I
there
reckon.
and
He'll be a bit more stingy this week. So you gotta perform.
It could possibly be, man. So how do you feel like you're gonna perform? We've gone over this many times. And what do you think, man? Especially fighting somebody that's not part of the Australian scene, you know, like going into like an international waters. What type of performance do you think you need to have?
I feel good, you know. I think I'm gonna perform. I think if I go in there and perform well, I'll be getting a win. I think our styles match up well. Like, he's a strong, aggressive fighter. I'm an aggressive fighter, so we're gonna have a good, solid tear up. And I think if I perform well, I think I'll leave there very happy. And I feel good, like everything is working out well. So, yeah, I'm ready to perform and ready to put on a show.
You're the only Australian, I believe, on the Contender Series this season. I don't think there's any other Australians on there. And, you know, there's a lot of talent there. How come you think we don't see as many on the Contender Series right now?
I'm not sure. There is I think there is a heap of talent in Australian MMA at the moment. I'm not sure why there isn't more Australians, but I hope I can put on a good enough performance that next season is going to be too many Australians. You know, I want there to be more Australians than not next time around. Hopefully I'm happy to take that on the shoulders and bring that pressure in with me, and hopefully open up the gates to some teammates and fellow Aussies.
In the status of Australian MMA, I know there's restrictions going on, but you know the movement of it. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty sad. I think it's pretty sad to see what's going on at the moment. I think Australia, like especially when they're locking up borders between states, I think it's rough. You know, I think as an Australian citizen, you should be able to travel across the land however you feel free. But obviously that's not the way it is at the moment. I think they've probably got safety at number one. I think the people that are running the shop probably have safety as their number one thing. But I think just got to make a like how. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I definitely think we should sort of open up the borders to Australians within Australia and let us move around and just. Yeah, but I'm lucky I'm not the one making those decisions, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just hope we can get back into Australia and do what we need to do to be welcomed back to our home country.
Well, you know, if you have that contract, I'm pretty sure they're going to welcome you pretty easily.
I think so. I think if I win, they'll let me in. If not, maybe they'll
just
just
hold the contract to them at the airport.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, you know, like I signed. Come on, let me in. Let's get through.
That's what I'm thinking.
But you know, you go there, you do your thing, you get the contract. You know, we've seen guys turn around real quick and say, hey, let's fight in a month, 2 months. What is your perfect timeline for that?
Yeah, I would love to get back in there. Pretty much, of course, if the body pulls up fine, like I'd be keen to get back in there and do it again. You know, I've got a wedding next year in March. So to be honest, I'd love to have 2 fights before then, which is March. It's September now. 2 fights between March seems like it's possible. So that would definitely be the goal, at least 2.
Well, congratulations on the engagement. And do you want to get married with a black eye, or do you want to have a clean face, man? Do you want to be beautiful for your big day?
To be honest, it doesn't bother me one bit, John.
Well, I think your wife probably might bother her a little bit.
Yeah, she probably doesn't want me having a black eye, but I couldn't care less.
Exactly. Fighter, true. All the way through, 100%. Well, September 14th, man, Dana White's Contender Series, Las Vegas. Jack, you know, I'm extremely happy for you because we know each other. You know, we've spoken many times in the past, and to see you on that stage, and it's just the next step to get to the bigger stage. It's exciting, man. I'll be watching for sure. Thank you so much, man.
Sweet. Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate the time.